We are the anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. Capitol Stonewall Democrats launched Queering ANCs, a digital initiative recruiting and training LGBTQ+ candidates and allies to run for Washington, D.C.'s advisory neighborhood commissions.
The Labor Union for Employees and Advocates for Trans Equality allege contract violations and demand financial transparency. The union proposes executive spending cuts in the face of layoffs.
The rage behind the makeup. After becoming the third drag venue to close in 3 weeks, the Queens of AQUAPLEX rail at corporate owner Pride Holdings Group.
Lesbian Army veteran and TikTok creator Nikaylee Monroe's viral church call recordings question attendance for registered sex offenders. The church responses have ignited debate over child safety, church policies, and LGBTQ+ inclusion.
Poland's constitutional court ruled foreign same-sex marriages cannot be recognized. This has overturned a lower court's EU-aligned decision and reinforced the country's constitutional definition as marriage between a man and a woman. All this important LGBTQ+ news and more this evening on Queer News Tonight. Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ daily news television show, broadcasting live and available on demand and on your favorite streaming channels.
Analytics company vidIQ has certified the Queer News Tonight YouTube channel as the world's most popular LGBTQ streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached over 13 million views. We are proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida.
And we thank you for watching and supporting our voice in the Rainbow family. There is no other program in the LGBTQ+ world like Queer News Tonight.
Can you believe it? It is Wednesday, July 29th, and we are live and literally out of the closet and smelling good and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we will tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ evening news show. Happening Out Television Network is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model as PBS and NPR, but created for the LGBTQ community. Our nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our community.
We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our diverse community. We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Happening Out, South Florida.
This year, our magazine celebrates 41 years of the LGBTQ+ experience, and Queer News Tonight celebrates our 5th anniversary with more than 16,000 LGBTQ+ stories told. We present South Florida's major LGBTQ+ events, including Pride Fort Lauderdale, Stonewall Pride, and Pride Fed. Our magazine, events, talk, news, entertainment shows, all of it supports our mission to educate the LGBTQ+ and broader communities.
In 2026, that's this year, more than 100 community leaders will sit at this very table and share their voices as our anchors. Together, we host this show to support the LGBTQ community. Let's meet this evening's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome anchor TriniDaddy. He is a violinist and pianist with the Miami City Ballet and is the program director for the Seminole Theater Players in Homestead. Welcome to the show, TriniDaddy.
Thank you. It's lovely to be here.
What was so funny about that?
I don't know. There's something
just
away
like how I
about.
said TriniDaddy.
Yeah. You just have an extra little sugar in your tank the way that you say it.
I like saying it. It's a nice name, TriniDaddy. Yes, TriniDaddy.
Well, it's lovely to be here. It's been a rough night, so bear with me for the rest of the program.
I'll do more than bear with you, TriniDaddy.
Okay.
Well, thank you for being here, and we look forward to hearing your views tonight.
Thank you.
Yes. And let's welcome anchor John Hayden, a journalist for 31 years. I don't believe it. He now focuses on hyper-local reporting, covering LGBTQ plus issues, Wilton Manors, Lauderdale by the Sea, Fort Lauderdale, and Oakland Park. You can see all his reports at Greater Wilton Manors on YouTube and Facebook. John, tell us, tell everybody what's happening out.
I'll tell you what, Learning is what's happening out. Latino SALUD, headquartered in Wilton Manors and the primary LGBTQ plus community hub in Miami-Dade, is helping students prepare for the future. Hey everybody, John Hayden in downtown Fort Lauderdale for a very cool shoot. Latino SALUD is helping school our community. Meet Kevin Davila, one of Latino SALUD's 8 scholarship recipients.
I am currently studying a master's in psychology, and I will be doing one-on-one work in clinical psychology.
He talked with Greater Wilton Manors during his photo shoot in downtown Fort Lauderdale. He came to the U.S. from Nicaragua in 2013. He did his undergrad at Broward College and FIU, where he is now pursuing his graduate degree in psychology.
I think that it's the journey of the self that we're all going through, and it was my own process that just led me to this desire to work with other people and help them work the path back to themselves.
Kevin first encountered the group when he was getting tested. Since then, he's become a fixture of the community.
I was met with so much compassion and warmth, and it was without a question that it was the right place to keep going to.
And one Latino SALUD event sticks out as a fave.
The food bazaar, both because I love food and because I love other Latinos. And it's to me just one of the best nights of all the year in Wilton, one of the best nights out. It's always so much fun, there's always so much liveness and community, that sense of closeness with other Latinos. It's invaluable.
This is one of the programs where all the money given will come back to help our community, because these people are committed to making sure everybody gets stronger. At Huizenga Park in downtown Fort Lauderdale, I'm John Hayden. Yeah, I got to meet him. There were several others. They were doing these shoots from Coral Gables all the way up to well past where I like to drive.
I was saying while the video was playing that they are just a wonderful organization. They are always so warm. They're just wonderful people, and they're always out there. They're always just making their presence known, getting everybody tested. It's very important that everybody knows their status, and it's great that if you are a member of their community, you don't have to be Hispanic or Latino. If you're a member of their community, you can apply for scholarship funds, and you can really better yourself. And they are out there, and they are not only looking to help you with your health, they're looking to help you socialize. They have wonderful block parties. They have wonderful friend networks. And now they're helping people go back to college to get their master's degree in psychology. It's a win-win-win for the whole community. Bravo to them. And thank you for covering that, John.
Absolutely. Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, thank you.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor, Brian Bender. Brian is a true South Florida local. He's an educator, community leader, and a strong voice in education, history, and public policy. He teaches in Broward County Public Schools, holds a bachelor's and master's degree in education, and postgraduate degree in leadership, and serves on the Fort Lauderdale Education Advisory Board. Welcome to the show, Brian.
Why, thank you so much for having me here, gentlemen. I'm so excited to talk about all the news that's fit to print and some of the news that's not. We'll talk about it when the camera's shut off. So looking forward to having a really great night with you.
Well, thank you for all the voguing you did during your introduction.
Was that voguing? I think that was just me being a little spastic, but thank you for the rosy colored glasses that you were viewing that from. I really appreciate it.
Oh, glad to have you at the table.
Thanks, TriniDaddy. I'm Brian Bender, and let's queer up politics like we don't do that all the time. LGBTQ plus group launches Grassroots program to build future political leaders across Washington, D.C. Capitol Stonewall Democrats, a DC-based LGBTQ plus political organization, is launching Queering ANCs, a digital program designed to recruit, train, and support candidates for the district's advisory neighborhood commissions, or ANCs. The organization says the effort aims to build a long-term pipeline of LGBTQ plus political leaders through local government. According to the Williams Institute at UCLA School of Law, 14.3% of adults in Washington, D.C. identify as LGBTQ+, the highest percentage of any U.S. jurisdiction. However, organizers say that level of representation is not reflected in the government. Go figure. Capitol Stonewall Democrat President Stevie McCarty said, quote, "Queering ANCs is an online web-based tool that's designed really to simply move people from interest in running to actually getting their asses off the couch, getting their name on the ballot. ANCs really do touch just about every daily aspect of our neighbors' lives," end quote. ANC commissioners advise the city on issues including housing, zoning, public safety, traffic, business, and licensing. Well, I think it's really wonderful. You know, you really want to build a very large pipeline, if you know what I mean, of gay people, queer people, of all kinds of people, that can do the bidding of the gay community and of the queer community in a place like Washington, D.C. I think, I was recently in Washington, D.C. for a grant program that I'm in as a history teacher, and I was telling the grant organizer that, unfortunately, it's 105 degrees in the heat there. So it's a no-go for me to live there, especially not in the summer. But those men, as long as they're not working at conservative think tanks, they dress so beautifully there. They are just so put together. They're so polished. And I just want to say, the more the merrier. The more the merrier in my hotel room. So if they're part of an ANC, good for me. Ooh, that rhymes.
You're a poet.
Does anybody else have anything that they want to say? Because that was like a complete non sequitur.
Well, I'll just say that it's great. I mean, these are basically like community organizers, right? These are people that are on the street every day. They walk their corner store, their 7-Eleven.
I would be on the street every day if they looked like that.
Girl, you're already on the street every day here.
No, I am not. Okay. It is too hot here. I'm in my car with the window down talking to people.
But no, it's good that we are building a pipeline. Republicans did this 30 years ago when they started, focusing on school board seats and county water commissioner or whatever it is. So, and then when the time came to propel themselves electorally, they had a bench. And so the fact that we're doing this, I mean, we're 30 years too late, but good. I'm glad to see it finally happening in DC, and more cities need to follow.
Agreed. I think that's the biggest problem in politics today is that we just don't have the right candidates that are running, or we're not propping up the right people. So then we always are left with, like, in these primaries, these polarizing characters that aren't really representative of what people want, but they're part of like little packs here that get supported, and then they ended up getting to the top of the ticket, and then we're like, who are we electing in this country, So getting the money out of the politics, and finding the right candidates to start from the beginning. And I think it does come from us. Like, I don't know if we do a great job of this, but of finding people in our community that we think would be fantastic leaders and saying, we're going to get behind you and push those people into those positions instead of having other nefarious actors pushing people into positions. So I think it's a great thing that they're doing, and I hope that we do that here too.
Agreed. And I think it's going to really take a rubric. I'm a teacher, so I'm all about, like, let's check this off the list. Like, does this person meet this criteria, this one, this one? And I think one of the criteria has to be, has the person ever voted Republican? If so, maybe not the best choice. Has the person ever sent out raunchy nudes? Well, in the gay community, if you've been on a gay dating website, you've probably done that.
So you are the right choice.
Well, maybe you are the right choice, but you need to be able to disclose that to the people that are vetting you. You need to be able to, be honest about the things that might be out there that might come back to bite you in the butt. In order so that way, damage control can be done before it becomes more of a scandal, if it becomes a scandal at all. And especially in a place like Washington, D.C., I think it was 14.3% are LGBTQ plus folks. So I think in the LGBTQ plus community, I think there's a little bit more leeway for the types of behaviors, and I don't mean that in a weird Republican-y, I'm not a Republican, but I don't mean that in a nasty way, but just in the certain kind of ways that we kind of just socialize and mingle amongst ourselves. I think that's pretty tolerated, but I think we need to be honest just about certain things that could be found about us if we're going to be running for political office. And I think maybe that might prevent a lot of people the right people from running for office, just because they don't want to be embarrassed later on. I think that's a big consideration.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that? No? Should I just move us on?
I think we've all said it well.
Well, I hope so.
I'm TriniDaddy, and let's queer up trans rights. Labor dispute erupts as trans rights groups warns of potential staff layoffs. A labor dispute has erupted at advocates for trans equality after the nation's leading transgender rights organization warned that staff layoffs may be necessary less than a month after employees ratified a contract aimed at protecting their jobs. The labor organization Union for Trans Liberation says management declared a period of economic retrenchment before notifying donors that the organization could potentially eliminate some positions. The union says leadership failed to follow the newly approved collective bargaining agreement, which requires discussions on alternatives to layoffs and financial transparency. After meeting with executives, union representatives said leadership could not answer key questions about the organization's finances. The union is requesting financial records and plans to propose cost-saving measures, including reducing executive salaries, limiting executive travel and event expenses, and freezing leadership hiring. The union said, quote, advocates for trans equality's announcement of potential layoffs has created hurt, fear, and uncertainty among our members, end quote. The dispute follows a lengthy contract negotiation that included a strike authorization earlier this year. The union argues the organization's financial challenges stem from executive expansion. Another LGBT group that is facing troubles. We're going to talk some more about some other groups that are facing troubles, but it's difficult. It seems like this story has a little less to do with anti-trans or anti-LGBT and just more about money management in an organization, as they claim that the difficulties are stemming from executive expansion. So I am not very familiar with this organization's work, but I do hope that whatever LGBTQ organization is around, we need to band together more. And whatever executive expansion is going on there, I hope that gets reined in a bit, if that's what's happening. And we are able to keep our groups afloat and keep people employed.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a story about equality. The fact that straight business and straight labor organizations can have issues, so can LGBT issues and LGBTQ labor associations. Girl, we've come so far.
I think this is just an LGBTQ plus organization that has just shot themselves in the foot. It just makes them look bad. It makes our community look bad when they can't manage their money correctly. And it just ends up looking like a slush fund. It's like, oh, we do good work. We're doing work on behalf of the trans community. Let's get another executive level C-suite member, on board, and let's get them six figures, and it takes away from the power of the organization at the grassroots level. I am not familiar with what this group does, as I'm not really that familiar with what a lot of these more well-known organizations do. I'm not going to name any three-letter organizations that start with H and end with C, but I do know that they give a lot of calls and they give out a lot of bumper stickers. You could say that, they're lobbying or they're, researching and they do this and they do that. But, a lot of that I do on Facebook myself, and I think I should be paid for that. So,
yeah.
And I think I have a lot of witty banter that I go back and forth with people from a lot of different countries. And I think that I can one up them on a lot of different things. So, maybe that's what they're doing, but I don't think it requires six figures. With that being said, Godspeed to them. I hope that they're able to get back on the saddle, advocating for trans rights, because our trans brothers and sisters are worth it. They are part of our community. They are an they're an integral part of our community. Intricate, because I've seen some of the things that they wear and it is very intricate, but they are an integral part of our community. So they deserve the absolute best, and they don't deserve to be treated less than. So the people that are representing them, whether they are trans or not, really should be better stewards of the finances that come along their way that should be earmarked for bettering the lives of the people that they serve.
Hey everyone, I'm John Hayden, and let's queer up gay culture. It's not our fault. AQUAPLEX Queens send a powerful message as the final curtain falls. The time for blame and recriminations has come. Cast and staff from now closed bars are speaking out against Pride Holdings Group, the company that is buying and then quickly closing one LGBTQ plus venue after another.
Hey everyone, John Hayden outside the now closed AQUAPLEX. The show finished just a few moments ago, and while they tried to keep it positive and happy and full of memories, the anger was also seething over.
This is our last show.
The emotions ran high at AQUAPLEX's last show. One of those emotions, anger.
And they demoted me the day before they closed us. Not knowing how much work I did in this building, and even a party after this I booked. I worked really hard to keep this place open, along with a lot of these girls up here, and all of us worked really hard. And a lot of people don't know that, but I'm going to speak my truth, because you know what, at the end of the day, I need to close my book of how I feel and express myself.
Velvet Lenore, among others, directing their anger at corporate mismanagement by Pride Holdings Group. After months of eviction notices, utility shutoff threats, tax issues, and bouncing checks, the company shut down 3 drag venues in 3 weeks. Longtime host Nicolette defended her onstage sisters who were put in management positions.
That's Amanda Austin. She's our district manager. Brianna is our general manager. They did everything right to keep this place open. So do not think that anything that we're closing because of the fault of the people that work in this building, because it was not. We wanted our jobs. We fought hard to keep them. So give it up one more time.
Later, Patron spoke her truth.
And I will say from the bottom of my heart, I did everything I could to keep this place open. I was given false information. Even the things I told this staff was a lie. Sorry, I'm letting it out.
Tell the truth, shame the devil.
I told them that they were going to be okay, because that's what I was told, and it wasn't true.
Adding insult to injury, some had to work the days after the show, liquidating the liquid assets. When asked why, Amanda Austin replied on social media, to make sure employees' paychecks clear.
We've come to the end.
Several of them have told me privately, and they said it on stage, that they will have a lot more to say in the days and weeks to come, as will the legal proceedings in the days, months, and maybe years to come. Outside AQUAPLEX in Oakland Park, I'm John Hayden.
Okay, so that was Sunday. Today we're at Wednesday. They are liquidating actual furniture in there. Amanda Austin posted a picture of the chairs and tables for sale in there. And get this, they're selling the freezers and refrigerators. Yes, that's right. You can go in there for a few $100 and just, well, probably not walk away, but load it and drive away with these things. Do these belong to AQUAPLEX or do they belong to the landlord? I don't know, but I know that the landlord is aware that they are pulling these out. I mean, you put it on Facebook. So we'll see. I just remember down in Key West that once AQUAPLEX closed there a couple weeks ago, they came in and stripped out everything. The tables, the booths, the water heater, they took everything. So yeah, this story continues to develop, and I'm going to be taking a closer look at their brands, what they do and do not actually own, to promote to shareholders. All that's coming over the next few days.
There's a lot in this story I know that's going to unfold and that you're going to report on and we're going to comment on probably for many weeks and months to come on this show. Just trying to figure out the situation that we're in with all these event spaces closing for the drag queens. What do you think is the solution to this? Do we need somebody to buy these spaces again and make them gay? Or is it too far gone at this point? Like, what do we do?
I don't think that we're too far gone for these to survive.
Do you think somebody else could come in and buy up these properties or spaces and then still keep it
individually, but not as a large company? Mm-hmm. Not like, I think somebody could come in and make, the pricing structure, the profit margins in just about all restaurants and bars is very thin to begin with, right? But enthusiasm about an AQUAPLEX here and in Key West, in Savannah, at Johnson's, that's not at a low. Those bars are very well attended, but their rents aren't getting paid like at AQUAPLEX here and in Key West and in Tampa, Johnson's. There are liens against the liquor license here at Johnson's. I mean, there is just so much financial inner workings that I don't think that these can ever be joined again if they ever go up for sale.
Right. It just seems like there was a problem from the beginning why this group took hold of these properties is because we wanted to keep them gay. Is that what it was?
Well, that was originally back in Key West and...
Right. So nobody was really stepping up to the plate except for this group.
Yeah, but some of these places, it doesn't sound like they needed anyone to step up to the plate. Like Lips in Chicago was doing quite well from what the former owner tells me. And now their liquor license is out of order. Their sales tax are apparently in arrears to Cook County, Illinois. Some of these places were doing just fine. Australia.
I'm just curious, like what we're trying to like I was saying before, like we're gonna prosecute everything that's going on, in the news. But like, what do we do now? Like, what are we trying to do? Are we trying to get somebody to purchase these spaces? Like, how are we trying to make this situation better?
Honestly, I mean, I'm doing what I can by reporting on it. Hopefully, so people, if they do continue to choose to invest in Pride Holdings Group, whose stock closed around 3 cents today, people who do choose to invest in that know what they're getting and what they aren't getting. That's what we can do right now.
And I think in the intermediate term, I think we need to make sure these queens get paid. I'm sure there's a lot of queens that worked for AQUAPLEX and that are still... I mean, I don't know the whole structure of what's going on. They were trading at 11 cents. Now they're trading at 3 cents. So obviously they're not completely defunct. They're just, at sub-basement level right now. There's people that, I heard in the report that there's people that have bounced checks.
Oh, yeah.
So there's people that need to pay their rent. There's people that need to pay their landlord. There's people that need to pay their mortgages. Whatever situation it's in, I think there needs to be some financial justice for the workers who have put in their time at AQUAPLEX and at these other venues that just need to get paid right now. And I think whatever comes next is going to come next. But I think right now, the most immediate thing is making sure that we don't line the pockets of the owners and we line the pockets of the people that enabled the owners to live lavish, opulent lives, allegedly. I always say allegedly because I have not seen any of their tax forms. I don't know any of this to be the case. I only go by what I hear and by the reporting, and I just want to make sure that these ladies, these entertainers who work so hard for the community for so many years and in so many venues, and especially at AQUAPLEX, they get their just desserts.
I think they do have some GoFundMes that I've seen for some of the queens.
And they shouldn't have to. And they shouldn't have to.
There are some GoFundMes. Next week, we're going to talk about some fundraisers that are coming up at Hunters, Lit, LaBoy.
Okay, great.
Yeah, we're going to be getting into that. But, at least the queens they get most of their tips in dollars.
Right.
The kitchen staff needs their, the door staff, the bartenders, they all are working basically for cash, for their check. And, when those bounce, they don't have any backup. At least, the queens could go out with their money and get some food at Publix or whatever. So, yeah, this is an ugly situation. And it makes me so mad. And I promise I'm going to continue to follow this for as long as it takes, wherever it takes us.
We know you will, John. Thank you so much for keeping us informed about this, and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
I'm TriniDaddy, and let's queer up faith. Viral church call videos raise questions about welcoming registered sex offenders to services. A self-described lesbian, pro-choice Army veteran in Kentucky, Nikaylee Monroe, who is also a TikTok creator, is drawing widespread attention with a series of viral videos testing how churches respond when asked whether a registered child sex offender could attend Sunday services. In the recorded calls, Monroe tells church staff she is married to a registered child sex offender and asks whether her family would face any issues attending worship. Monroe says the calls are part of what she describes as social experiments. Since June, she has posted more than 60 videos under the title Testing Your Church PDF Files, using internet slang for pedophile. According to Monroe's playlist, only one church featured in the series, the Blessed Sacrament Catholic Church in Dallas, declined the request. The videos have sparked debate online about church safety policies, child protection, and LGBTQ+ inclusion. Monroe rejects claims that her project targets Christians. She said, quote, "I'm just exposing the bad seeds within the church. I love the good Christians," end quote. Kentucky law allows one-party consent for recording phone calls, making Monroe's recordings legal. Churches generally may choose whether to exclude registered sex offenders, admit them without restrictions, or require behavioral agreements, depending on their policies and applicable state laws. This story is a bit confusing to me in that I'm not sure what her end game is. If she's trying to kind of conflate how churches treat LGBTQ plus people and also pedophiles, it seems like these two things are being put, juxtaposed next to each other, which they're kind of two separate questions. So I'm not exactly sure what she's trying to get out of it. But then also, I remember growing up in a very Protestant, Christian, conservative church and working for the church as clergy till I was about 28. We did deal with some of these issues when there was a person in the church who might have been known to have committed some kind of crime or was on a registry. Like, how do you handle such a thing? And it's just interesting, like if you look at the text of the gospel itself, the Bible, everything is forgiven, right? And, somebody who has turned their life around, should be able to be at the church, but at what level it's a very interesting question of like how you deal with that now with people with children. We have all sorts of precautions now in nurseries and stuff, but there's always other adults present. But like, do you take somebody who has had some kind of mishap. Maybe they were 19 years old or 20 years old and was dating somebody who was younger, and then, you know, maybe it was what do you call the Romeo and Juliet laws? Yeah. And this person is now on a registered sex offender list, but it's like, you know, it wasn't like some kind of violent rape or something like that, or child molestation. Like, how does the church handle that? And I guess she's trying to I'm thinking that that the church, she feels, should be forgiving to people and embracing those who have committed some sort of situation. That's not what you're getting?
That's not what I got.
Okay, what are you getting?
Well, I would say first, yes, you're right. You say conflate. I would say she's putting the dots up there and leaving us to connect them without her having to libel herself or slander anything. I think that all churches, religious places should have on their webpage have their policy towards sex offenders, right? You know, this is what we do allow. You know, we do counseling if they want to be part of it, whatever they want, or we don't have them in, or we let them come in and teach Sunday school. Whatever it is, it should be on their website. You know, that kind of transparency. As for what, and yes, you're right, the Romeo and Juliet cases, but those are by far a minority. Most statutory races get kicked down to a level that doesn't require registration. Right. Okay. For people who commit those types of things, you know, an 18-year-old with their 16-year-old girlfriend, right? Most of those just don't get prosecuted or don't end up with people on a list. Most of these people have assaulted someone under 13. Most have done rapes, very violent sexual assaults. That's the main part of the people that are affected. And I think, by getting back to your question, what is she trying to say? I think she's also trying to say, have churches learned their lesson from the pre-scandals of the 2000s, or these mega church pastors that keep getting called out for assaults or cheating or something like that? I think that's the question she wants us to ask. And I don't care, as long as it weakens religious hold on America's through a little bit of common sense, I'm all for what.
But isn't that an interesting question, though? I mean, if the Bible and in Christianity, you're supposed to be their solution to these things is draw closer to God, right? Now, maybe people on the outside who are not part of that religion are like, no, I don't want a sex offender. I don't want, I don't believe in God. I don't believe in whatever. But if their doctrine says that the way to full restoration of anybody is to be able to be at church and to draw closer to God, then what would the church answer be? And that's what I don't know what she's trying to
Christian
get.
hypocrisy is not new.
But I think you're really pointing at something that I don't necessarily have the words for, but I see the contextual framework that you're working with. She's actually showing two things at once to two separate audiences. On the one audience, to the John audience, to the one where, to the people that say anything that shows Christian hypocrisy, great. I like anything that'll take them down, good. So they say that a sex offender can come to church, good. That makes them look really bad. That's great because it shows that they have no morals. It shows that they don't care about, child sex abuse. That's one way to look at it. But another way would be, they really are true Christians because they're such true Christians that they believe that with the love of Jesus Christ, that even if you are a registered sex offender, you're being honest about it. You're letting us know. And of course you would be welcomed because this is a welcoming space. So there's two things that are happening at the same time. And I think two things can be true at once. And I don't think either one is true because I would not want to be in a church with a registered sex offender. I would not feel comfortable. But how many times are we in a room with registered sex offenders that we don't even know that we're in rooms with registered sex offenders? So number one, she's actually, if this were really true, she's actually doing the church a service by letting them know, hey, my husband's a registered sex offender, so they could do with that information what they want. And for, most of those churches, they said, yeah, come on in. But how do you know that they're not having a conversation with maybe the leadership? Hey, we got a call from a woman who wants to join us today. She let us know that her husband is a registered sex offender. How do you know that the pastor did? And I'm not making excuses for Christian pastors because they've transgressed quite a bit. But how do you know that they didn't have a meeting amongst themselves to say, hey, he's welcomed here because God's love encompasses everybody, but let's keep an eye on that guy. If you see him too close to children, let's move him away. Or, hey, brother, keep an eye on this one. Just, just shadow him a bit. You never know the internal dynamics, because at the end of the day, a church is a religious organization, but it's also a society of people, and it's a communal organization. So and it's political, so you don't know how things get maneuvered politically in these organizations. So I'm surprised that the only church that did not want to accept this person was a Catholic church, which kind of made me chuckle, because the people that are most in the public consciousness, at least, are Catholic priests that are usually accused of transgressing against minors, but usually they don't get the justice that they deserve because it's usually kept in house. So I'm surprised that he was denied, that this fictional person would have been denied access. So to wrap it up, I could go either way with this. I think on the one hand, inviting a registered sex offender to a church, while it would give me the ick, I can understand it from a Christian ethos. On the other hand, it's a complicated world that we live in, and nobody should have to be sexually abused. And if this were a real person, I hope he served his time and he learned his lesson and he got therapy, and keep an eye out for those people and don't let strange people around your children that you don't know. I'm Brian Bender, and let's queer up business. Elon Musk's Twitter takeover is linked to 2022 dispute over anti-trans post. New comments from Babylon Bee CEO Seth Dillon are renewing attention on the role of their 2022 anti-trans post may have played in Elon Musk's decision to buy Twitter, now known as X. Speaking at the 2026 Alliance Defending Freedom Summit, Dillon said Musk contacted the conservative satire outlet after Twitter locked its account for deliberately misgendering Rachel Levine, a transgender woman and former Biden administration health official. According to Dillon, Musk contacted the Babylon Bee after Twitter locked its account over a post naming Levine a transgender woman its Man of the Year. Musk told Babylon Bee editor-in-chief Kyle Mann, quote, "Maybe I just need to buy Twitter," end quote. 8 months later, Musk completed his $44 billion purchase of the platform. Public records show Musk had already begun buying Twitter shares before the Babylon Bee published the post, suggesting the incident did not spark his initial interest but may have reinforced his decision. Since Musk's takeover, Twitter has removed and revised policies related to targeting, misgendering, and dead naming. GLAAD's 2026 Social Media Safety Index gave Twitter a score of 29 out of 100, ranking it last among major social media platforms for LGBTQ plus safety. Well, I'm a teacher, and a 29 is an F, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Are they making the distinction between when it was Twitter and when it's X?
Yeah.
Because they're saying, okay, this is before Elon took over?
Yeah, they're saying that this one post by Babylon Bee that got their Twitter account locked down, that helped inspire Musk to buy the platform. But you said 29 is an F. Does that F stand for fuck Musk?
I thought you were going to say fascist.
Fascist! Musk is a fascist! LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. We queer up the USA view. And queer news tonight has some milestones and some gratitude as we surpass 30,000 subscribers and 13 million views. We are reaching a growing global audience with 30,000 of you subscribed on YouTube. And our views, our stories clicked on more than 13 million times. We have a library of more than 16,000 LGBTQ plus news stories, and we are the world's first and only LGBTQ plus daily television news show. See the confetti? Do you see that confetti going all over the screen?
I don't see it.
That's a celebration.
Oh, okay.
And that is a sign that we are here, we are effective, and we are making change.
And we're queer.
And we are queer.
We're famous.
We're famous.
I am.
We focus our coverage on the 11 pillars: lesbian, transgender, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith,
social justice.
Trini, you want to add one?
I did not move my teleprompter.
Business.
And queer culture. Queer News Tonight, part of the hotspots happening out South Florida media conglomerate, one of the largest nonprofit media companies in the U.S. And we are so proud to have achieved this, and we could not have done it without you. Thank you for being here with us for 5.5 years now, for supporting journalists like me, community leaders such as Brian and Trini, Faye, who's off this week, deservedly so, but she's adds so much to our community. Oh, wow.
This confetti.
I don't want to get the confetti in my hair.
I want to get it in my shirt. Do more, do more, do more.
So thank you for letting us be a part of your queer community 4 nights a week. And, sometimes on weekends if I post on Greater Wilton Manors.
As a nonprofit LGBTQ media organization, we would like to thank our viewers for supporting our mission to tell the stories of the queer community. We would also like to thank the generous support of Jet's Pizza. I am absolutely salivating, but not when John does that. Jet's is the LGBTQ community's most popular pizza in South Florida.
Take a look around these streets. Do you really think we woke up one day and said, yeah, the world needs more pizza? Nah, just a better one. Better, like the world's best pizza, Jet's Detroit-style pizza. Hand-pressed and baked to the thickest, crispiest crunch. You're welcome. Now visit jetspizza.com and save. Click on hot deals for special offers in your area. Jet's, better because it has to be.
These are today's queer news headlines from Queer News Tonight. Our anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ family.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Don't forget to join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform. Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support.
If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world. This is the only place in the world telling these types of LGBTQ plus stories. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm so enraptured by you, John. I'm your anchor, Brian Bender, and I thank you for joining us on behalf of my fellow LGBTQ anchors here at Queer News Tonight, TriniDaddy and John Hayden. We will see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ plus world, we bid you adieu, and we wish you a good night.